Okay, this is 8-6 multiplication and division expressions. So you've already learned to find an addition or subtraction rule and write an expression that describes it. Today you will learn to find a multiplication or division rule and write an expression that describes it. So it's almost exactly like 8-5, except we're using multiplication and division instead of addition and subtraction. Okay, so I want you to copy this chart down in your spiral first, and then I'm going to read you the question. So, Lily and Al played a math game. The table shows the starting numbers, Lily modeled with place value blocks. The table also shows the numbers of blocks modeled after Allison changed them. What rule did Al use to change the blocks? Record your work with words, symbols, or numbers. So, what I want to know is how can we write out a rule using division or multiplication? So in order to find that, I need to look at the starting numbers, which are all of Lily's numbers. What did we start with, and where did we end up? So we started with 6 and we ended up with 18. What is the difference using multiplication or division that we used to get there? Well, we know we increased, so when your top number is littler than your bottom number and you're increasing, you know we have to be used in multiplication. Just like if it's increasing and we're talking about addition, you know it's addition. So we have to say our starting number 6. 6 times what gives us 18? 6 times 3. Okay, let's try the next one to make sure. 12 is our next starting number, times something equals 36. 12 times 3 equals 36. So each time we go down, we're multiplying by 3. So I'm going to write out this rule, and I'm just going to put that the rule I figured out was that at the starting number, we would multiply the starting number by 3 each time. So we did 14 times 3, got 42, 20 times 3, and we got 60. So another way I can write this rule is 3 times S for the starting number. I'm just going to use S there. 3 times S for the starting number. That's our rule. So this is the next chart I would like you to copy in your spiral. So up top we have the number of tickets being sold, and I have 2, 4, 6, and 8, and then we have the total price of those tickets. So for 2 tickets, the total, we'll say this is to a Taylor Swift concert, just for Cade. So for 2 tickets to see Taylor Swift, it costs $60. For 4, it cost $120. For 6, it cost $180. And for 8, I am not sure. So the first thing I would like you to do is to look at number 1 down here. And okay, so on the first question it says, what is a rule for the table in words? So back here, my rule in words was to multiply the starting number by 3. So what do we do with the starting number here? What do we multiply or divide it by to get the bottom number? Well, each time we are multiplying by 30. 2 times 30 is 60, 4 times 30 is 120, and so on. So what we can write, okay, so in words, I would multiply by 30. Multiply my starting number by 30 each time. Now in symbols, how could I write my rule? Well, let's make this T instead of, you know how we usually put S for starting number? Let's put T for tickets, or for Taylor Swift tickets for Cade. And we have to multiply by 30. So your rule is either written out like this, wrong way, or it is in symbols written out like this. Okay, so on this one, I want to show you a graph that has division in it. So we're dividing down here. So in this chart, I am dividing. So I need to figure out what I'm dividing by. 2 divided by what is 1? 4 divided by what is 2? 8 divided by 4 is what? So we know that if we just look at the top, that's the numbers we are starting with. Here's my variable, P, and then the top boxes are the numbers that I'm starting with. So, what is happening each time? Well, 4 divided by what is 2? 4 divided by 2 is 2. Is that the same for all of the rest? 2 divided by 2 is 1? Yes. 8 divided by 2 is 4? Yes. So I know my rule over here is P divided by 2. Okay, so on this one, please copy this one down. And I would like you to tell me in a quiz question. Oops, I need my... So in a quiz question, I would like you to tell me, what are you multiplying your starting numbers? Remember, these are your starting numbers. What are you multiplying your starting numbers by in order to get these numbers here on the bottom? So each time, your first answer should have been 8, because each time you're saying 2 times 8 equals 16. 3 times 8 equals 24. 4 times 8 equals 32. But if you did not know how to find that, I'm going to show you a way. Even though your rule has multiplication, if you want to find the difference of these two, you have to do the opposite of what your rule is. So you would have to say, what's 16 divided by 2? 2 cannot go into 1. 2 goes into 16 8 times. So remember, 8 times 2 is 16, so I'm timesing by 8. So just like this next one, if I didn't know what the difference was, or if I didn't know what I was multiplying by, I would simply do the opposite of what my rule is telling me, and I would do 24 divided by 3, which gives me 8. Okay, so then I know, since I'm increasing by multiplying 8 each time, I know my rule over here, I need to put an 8. So what you are telling me when you are writing the rule, you are telling me that all of these top numbers can be put in for the place of t. So you know we're multiplying by 8, so you can do 8 times, and then since all of these numbers up here equal t, you're telling me that I can put in this 3 where the t was, and it should give me the right answer. So 8 times 3 is 24, and you look down here and you have the right answer. So I would like you to try one on your own. Okay, so I lied. I want to do this one with you, and then I'll give you one to do on your own. So what they want us to fill in is the rule. And we are using division this time. So we know we're using division because this top number, your starting number, when you go down to the bottom box, it's decreasing. So you know it has to be division. But if you don't know what 20 divided by something, whatever 20 divided by is, that gives you 4, then remember you do the opposite of what the rule is. So I can start with my 4, and I can say either 4 times what gives me 20. So I can go through my 4 facts, 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, and then when we get to 4 times 4, which gives us 16, so that cannot be right. So you would have to do 4 times 5 to give us 20. So we have a difference of 5, but your rule says that we are dividing because we're going from a bigger number down to a smaller number. So each time we're dividing by 5. So that is your rule. So you would put a 5 right here in this box. So now this next one's all on your own, and then you can do your practice sheet at home. Okay, so I want you to show me, or to give me 2 answers. You should have 2 answers when you're done. I need an answer in this box, what your rule is, and then by using that rule, tell me what you get over here. Now, remember that you never, ever, ever go across because there's no patterns there, so don't even look at that. always go down or up to down, up to down. So figure out what this is first, what your rule is first. 20 divided by something equals 4. You have to figure out what that something is. Remember, to find that out, you can also use multiplication, the opposite. Then you need to plug 45 in for the S. 45 divided by whatever you said your rule was equals what goes in this box. So go ahead and put both of those answers into the quiz question and then start your practice. If you get too confused over the weekend, just try your best and bring it in on Monday and we will talk about it.